Hello, this is Dr. Prasad Pudilam, continuing the class series on Biology for Engineers, BBOC407. This is for computer science stream students. This is the last video of Module 1, Part 11 of Module 1, Hormones. Okay, so please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, those who are watching my videos, because that is the only support I am getting from you. Please do subscribe. The notes, each videos notes I am attaching the PPT notes, whatever the PPT which I made, it's PDF converted one will be available in the description box. You can click it, it will download, automatically download to you. This is my YouTube channel name, My Intuition 4865. Okay, so we move on to the module 1 syllabus, that is basic unit of life. All these portions completed. I'm on to the last topic, that is hormones. Okay, so uh, moving to the course outcome, it is important to mention that course outcome is the student has to see the course outcome given in the syllabus. It's very important nowadays, because the teaching methodology is based on the course outcome. Okay, so students should know what are the course outcome. Teachers also should aware of that. Now, properties and functions of hormones. The question is framed: describe the specific properties and functions of hormones, which is course outcome 1, having a level 2 question. It carries 5 marks, 2 marks for properties, 3 marks for function, or 3 marks for property, 2 marks for function. We can rearrange it. Okay, then answers are given. Before that, what are hormones? Okay, directly properties and functions are there in the syllabus. Hormones, what are hormones? That you can also state, a sentence can be added there. Hormones are the chemical messengers. They are the chemicals actually produced in the body, the glands, the endocrine system, which produce. Endocrine is the set of organs which produces these chemicals. Okay, so it is the glands, the endocrine system, which regulate these hormones, which when produced it will regulate the physiological processes uh, in the body. So they will travel through the bloodstream, our bloodstream, to target the different organs and tissues, and it influences the function such as the growth, metabolism, and our mood also. So hormones play a very crucial role in maintaining the so-called homeostasis. Homeostasis means how our body, how the process by which we make our body maintains a very stable internal environment, even though the external conditions are varying. This includes the temperature, pH, glucose level in our body. All this, it will maintain an optimal condition, even though extreme drastic conditions are there in the atmosphere or externally changing environment. Body has to maintain a certain stable conditions, so that the system will work. So it acts as a first property, that it acts as a chemical messenger. Just the language communication, or just delivering the messages, postal service. Okay, so hormones are like those letters which carry the specific message from one part of the body to the another part. So these messages are are the chemical signals which trigger the various responses in the target cell or the organs. For example, the insulin, a hormone which is produced by the pancreas, it tells the cells to take up the glucose from the bloodstream, lowering the blood sugar level. Then comes the next property, that is produced by endocrine glands. The endocrine glands are the message centers actually, like the post office, where the messages are collected and sent out. So endocrine glands are like those post offices, which are specialized tissues actually. It's not a office as such. It's a specialized tissue system which synthesize and release the hormones directly into the bloodstream. Example, the thyroid gland, which produces the thyroid hormones. The adrenal glands will produce the cortisol and adrenaline. The pituitary gland releases the very numerous hormones which regulate the other glands. Now next property, that is regulation of physiological process, that is controlling controlling an orchestra. You heard that how different music instruments are controlled by one person who we control. The same way, the uh, 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 the physiological process are regulated by these hormones. They regulate all these functions, like which ensures a proper balance and coordination between them. For example, the growth hormone, it will regulate the growth and development. Insulin controls the blood sugar level. The thyroid hormones, they regulate the metabolism. Same way. Next point, that is fourth one actually, that is transported in bloodstream. Just like the road networks that we have, same way the hormones also uh, they also work the bloodstream. It is like that of network which carries hormones through the body, which allows them to reach to their target cells or the organs where it has to reach. For example, the estrogen, which is produced by the ovaries, it will travel through the bloodstream to target tissues like the uterus or breast or even the bones, that about transported in bloodstream. Now next point, that is target specific actions. Target specific actions, it is like for each recipient a special message. That concept it comes. Means a letter which is addressed to specific person, it has to reach to that person. No one else has to open it. Registered messages. Okay, so they only affect the cells. These hormones affect only a specific cell or a specific organ that have the receptor designed to recognize and bind to them. For example, the insulin, it only affects the cell within insulin receptors, allowing them to take up the glucose from the bloodstream. Now, the control over metabolism. Control over metabolism, like an account manager, uh, which influences various metabolic processes, including the energy production, utilization, storage. So, example, the thyroid hormones, it will regulate the rate of metabolism. Insulin and the glucagon, they work together to control the blood sugar levels. Next property, that influence on growth and development. The growth hormones, for example, the impact growth hormones, uh, they impact and development, especially during childhood and adolescence, that is controlled by the growth hormones. Then a role in reproduction. Reproductive hormones such as the estrogen or testosterone, they play a very key role in the reproductive system and influence the fertility and the secondary sexual characteristics. One more thing, that is feedback mechanism. Feedback mechanism, just you imagine a thermostat in our house, in the room. When the temperature gets too high, the thermostat senses it, and it will turn on the air condition to cool things down. And if the temperature drops below a set of a set point, temperature goes below that, the thermostat, it turns the air conditioner on. So this is a classical example of a negative feedback loop. It's a mechanism which maintains a stable, balanced state. Hormones are in the same way. It will also work. They work like these hormones, a thermostat, to maintain the so-called homeostasis, which is a state of the balance between within the body compared to the external environment. So feedback loops are work as a sensor, and it will do the required function. The negative feedback, which I said, it is a most common type. Uh, it works like a self-regulating system, ensuring the hormone levels don't get too high or too low. For example, the blood sugar level rise after a meal, after eating food. If the blood sugar level it rises, the pancreas will release the insulin. The insulin then signals cells to take up glucose from the bloodstream, lowering the blood sugar levels. Once the blood sugar level returns to normal, insulin production slows down. Next one, the positive feedback. Example, during a labor work, the hormone, the oxytocin, which is released. It causes the contraction in the uterus. This contraction stimulates the release of more oxytocin, leading to a stronger contraction until the baby is born. That is a type of positive feedback. Now, why these type of feedback mechanism are very important? Maintaining stability, main case. Then we have to adapt to the changes, as well as to prevent the excessive hormone production also need to be controlled. Now, respond to stress. Uh, when we encounter we face any stressful situation, when we encounter any stressful conditions, our body, it will trigger a series of a cascade of hormonal responses to prepare for the fight or flight situation. The stress hormones are like the accelerators. They mobilize the body's resources to deal uh, the received or perceived threat. So the key players in the stress responses are the cortisol, adrenaline, norepinephrine. These are the hormones which will work for that. So the stress response, it is very powerful, and it is an adaptive mechanism which allow us to deal with the emergencies. Then we move on to the functions. Regulation of metabolism. Example is given, insulin and glucagon. Insulin, it is a hormone which is produced in the beta cells of the pancreas. The primary role of insulin is to lower the glucose level, especially in the liver, muscle, the fat, the adipose tissues. The insulin, it will facilitate the conversion of glucose into glycogen by a process called the glycogenesis. So this glycogen, it is stored in the liver and muscle cells. It will also inhibits the production of glucose by the liver. That is gluconeogenesis, production of glucose. Glucagon, the main function of glucagon is to produce the it is a glucagon is a hormone which is produced by the alpha cells of pancreas. The primary role is to increase the blood glucose level by stimulating the release of glucose from the liver into the bloodstream. Okay, now we move on to the next function. Okay, growth and development with growth hormones. growth hormones called as GH, produced by the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland then these growth hormones, they play a very crucial role in promoting the growth, cellular reproduction, regeneration. It stimulates the growth of bones and muscles. It increases the protein synthesis and promotes the breakdown of fats to provide the needed energy. Okay, move on to the next topic, that is maintenance of water and electrolyte balance. Okay, antidiuretic hormones, that is ADH. ADH is well known. Okay, ADH is also known as the vasopressin. It is produced by the hypothalamus and released by the posterior pituitary glands. So this regulates the water balance in the body by increasing the water reabsorption in kidneys, thus reducing the urine output and conserving the body water. Next comes next function, that is reproductive functions. Estrogen and testosterone. Estrogen is a primary produced by the ovaries in females. Estrogen regulates the menstrual cycle. It supports the development of the secondary sexual characteristics such as the breast development. It also produces, it also maintains the reproductive tissues. Testosterone is primarily produced by the testes in males, which is responsible for the development of the male secondary sexual characteristics such as the facial hair, the deeper voice. They also play the key role in the production of sperms. Next comes next function, that is stress response by cortisol. Cortisol is produced by the adrenal gland, and it is often referred to as the cortisol itself is called as the stress hormone. It helps the body to respond to the stress by increasing the blood glucose level. So it enhances the metabolism of fat, protein, and carbohydrates, and suppressing the immune system to prevent overreaction to the stress. Now, regulation to the calcium levels. The PTH, that parathyroid hormones produced by the parathyroid glands, they regulate the calcium levels in the blood. It increases the blood calcium levels by promoting the release of calcium from bones, enhancing the calcium reabsorption in the kidneys, and increases the calcium absorption in the intestine also. Next one, that is thyroid hormones, T3 and T4. That thyroid functions. T3 and T4 are produced by the thyroid glands only. They regulate the metabolism, the energy production, and overall the cellular activity. Okay. Next comes the blood pressure regulators. Pressure regulators, like the renin and aldosterone. Renin, it is an enzyme which is secreted by the kidneys in response to the lower blood pressure or low sodium level. This renin, a series of steps are there. Actually, renin converts the angiostenogen to angiostensin 1, which is then converted to angiostensin 2, and this converting enzyme, the angiostensin 2, it stimulates the aldosterone release. Okay, so renin to aldosterone is a set of reactions. Okay, so these aldosterones, it is a hormone produced by this series of reactions by the adrenal cortex. It regulates the sodium and water balance by promoting the sodium reabsorption, not adsorption, reabsorption and potassium excretion in the kidneys. Okay, we move on to the next property, that is a function, that is inflammatory uh, responses. Example, prostaglandin. They are the lipids. Prostaglandins are the lipids, lipid compound actually, that play a role in the inflammatory response, which contribute to the process like fever, pain, swelling. The prostaglandin, they are produced at the sites of tissue damage or in the site of infection, which causes the blood vessel to dilate, increasing the blood flow to that affected area and promote the inflammation. Okay. So they are also sensitive nerve ending to pain and induce fever by acting on the hypothalamus. Last topic, I think, mood and sleep regulation, almost last topic. Okay, mood and sleep regulation, it is done by the example of melatonin. Melatonin, it is a hormone produced by the pineal gland, which regulates the sleep wake up cycle and the circadian rhythms. Melatonin production increases the response to the darkness and decreases in response to the light. So it promotes sleep by binding to receptors in the brain, which regulates the sleepiness and wakefulness. Melatonin also helps in synchronizing the body's internal clock, equal to internal clock only, within the external environment, influencing the sleep patterns. That means if this particular hormone is working properly, we can set our alarm. No need of the external alarm. If you say that our brain tells that you need to wake up at this particular time, you might have seen some certain situation when you have to go somewhere or you have some function to attend. You have to wake up at a particular time, or 2 o'clock, or 3 o'clock, or 4 o'clock. If you set it to your brain before the alarm rings, you wake up. That is the function, the work done by the melatonin. This one is fed on our brain. Our brain keep on telling that. Maybe you have to tell our brain first. You have to keep on thinking that I need to wake up. I need to wake up at 3 o'clock. I need to wake up at 3 o'clock. And if you sleep, if your melatonin production is proper, I'm not telling you it will work. If it is proper, your brain will tell, and it will do the needful. Hopeful, I hope that you have done the needful to me by subscribing to my YouTube channel. This is the end of this particular class video. So please, if not subscribed, please do subscribe. The notes which I am attaching to the description box, it may take 1 or 2 days time based on the availability of net that I have. Okay, may be attached or may not be attached, but it will be there. You will get it. Can cross check it anytime, and you can download it. But watch my videos, forward my videos to others. If you download my notes only, I will not get any benefit from that. If you watch my videos, then only I get benefited. So please do forward my videos to others. Then watch my videos. Thank you very much.